Hi everyone. Thank you again for joining us to another one of our pre-session events for our Techstars Startup Weekend Women Dublin coming up on the 25th to 27th of March. And today we have one of our prize sponsors from SEGITA. Chris will make short presentation about the program that they'll be offering the participants of the Startup Weekend Women Dublin. So please welcome Chris. Thank you very much. Please take it over.
Leila, thank you. And hello, everyone. Very excited to be here. My name is Christos Kritikos, and I am part of SEGITA. I'm here with Vasilis Ochadelis, that is also part of SEGITA. I put SEGITA together. I'm going to give a quick presentation about the SEGITA program, and then we will open it up to some questions. So if you give me a second, I'll share my screen. All right, so SEGITA stands for Social Economy Global Impact Tech Accelerator. It's a comprehensive program that supports social impact tech startups towards commercialization, growth, and investment. Why SEGITA exists, what motivated us, what's the purpose behind us putting SEGITA together? Well, the main thing is that there is a lot of conversation about social impact, a lot of conversation about the potential of entrepreneurship to generate impact, especially in developing countries. In a lot of parts of the world, there is an opportunity presented by entrepreneurship to generate, to motivate, to create economic development, and through that progress. But what is usually lacking in this field is that there's a lot of conversation, of course, but we have noticed that there's a lot of social impact tech focused programs. And not only that, but it's hard to identify most promising startup in the space. And a lot of times also, a lot of the entrepreneurs that participate in this program, especially the impact-driven ones, come from those areas, and they don't have the resources, they don't have the background, there is not enough appropriate education or training to give them the resources and the tools for them to succeed. So the result is that we're seeing a lot of social entrepreneurs that they work hard, but they fail to access the market, gain traction, and that, of course, results in the positive impact that they could have had not materialize. So our vision is to help companies achieve both sustainability and impact. So for us, impact and profit, they can go hand in hand. It's something that is not like a very common approach, it's not a very common thing, but especially as we evolve and what we've seen, the way humanity evolves as a whole, the path forward is through sustainability, both social, but also financial. So profit and impact together is what we strive to achieve. And our goal in creating SEGITA and the purpose of this program is to help companies reach that level. So our impact goals is business and economic activity. By helping entrepreneurs succeed, we're basically help them create companies, and that generates business and economic activity, that creates jobs. These jobs, they help the society, they support social cohesion, and of course, there's self-empowerment for the founders themselves and the entrepreneurs. Our solution is a program made specifically for social impact tech startups. So it is, to some extent, what you could say is kind of what would be a normal accelerator program that we have adapted, we have modified, we have refined, especially for social impact tech startups. We focus on sustainable commercialization, growth, and investment. And it's a multi-phase approach, the program. There is some informational workshops that are mainly used as what we would call kind of a top of the funnel. It's a way, it's just an outreach, educational, informational. Then is the core of the program is the accelerator. And at the end of that, there is a selection process for startups that could be selected to enter the so-called master group, which is a 6+ month program where we work with those startups very closely, hands-on almost, and we really help them go to the next level. This is kind of a little diagram to understand how our program works, our multi-phase program. So there is a bunch of startups at the beginning, like you say, at least 25, it could be up to 100, maybe more, but they could enter those informational workshops to learn more about SEGITA, to, usually these workshops, they have some theme. It could be maybe working on your mission, maybe working on your pitch deck. So there is kind of themed workshops, and we have a number of startups that participate. Usually they last about a month. And then from there, about 8 to 15 startups advance to a next level. And again, there is more and more selection until we basically, usually we say around 3, sometimes up to 5 startups who join the master group, and basically we work all together for commercialization, investment readiness, exposure, access to market, all these things, and of course, getting them funding. A little bit about the outline of the program. So, like I said, it's a multi-phase usually, and what we do most of the times, the first part, we really focus on the pitch deck. This is to capture whoever may not have a pitch deck, but also to help the ones who have a pitch deck improve. For us, the pitch deck is a central part of the way to present a company. It captures the business case, it captures the vision, it captures what the company has been doing and what they hope to do. So it's a great document as a reference. For that reason, it's also important to be able to have a really good pitch deck. So the first part of the program is essentially a little pitch deck boot camp, if you wish, workshop. Last 4 weeks, we get in a reasonable amount of depth with group classes, lectures, Q&A session, office hours, and basically we help the startups come up with a deck that is, good enough to stand in front of an investor. Then the second part of the program, we go much deeper, and we really work on that business case, whether it is because the mission needs some work, whether it's some data that is missing, and we need to get better data from the market, or the 2-3 year plan can be expanded. Whatever it is that is needed, the business case gets to become really, really solid. And so that's the second part of the program. This one is more intensive. Again, there is a weekly group sessions, peer support group, and also we're doing some pitch practice sessions to really start working on the pitch. The third part, again, another 4 weeks. Here we get a little bit more on the investment readiness and a little bit of the art of pitching and fundraising, so to speak. And again, this gets a little bit more tailored, more hands-on. It's less startups by this point, and it gets a little bit more individualized attention. So if you get, there's a transition here from the baseline pitch deck that help us basically have a reference point to assess and understand what the startup does, into building their business case and strengthening their business case. So now we can really have a powerful, sustainable business in our hands, and then on how to present that properly, package this properly, and the whole art of getting out there talking to investors. The post-accelerator program, the so-called master group that I mentioned, the Changemakers Master Group, this is usually 6 to 9 months. And in that case, like I said, we're working hands-on in a very small group and one-on-one to basically help the startup get to the next level, get its introduction, and build it into a successful venture. What sets us apart, if it's not clear already, is that basically it's a 360 approach to impact companies, to impact tech startups. We have the methodology, of course, that is used extensively in the entrepreneurship space. Personally, I've spent numerous years in the US, a large part of them in the Silicon Valley. But also we have a very solid understanding of the challenges of social entrepreneurs, what they need. And so we combine the methodology with the understanding of the challenges. And of course, we have the ecosystem support, so to speak. So the mentors, the advisors, access to investors, and all these things that make the difference to help a company be successful. The team is obviously me. You've been listening to me for a while already, and Vasilis Sofiadelis. And as I just said earlier, we combine the lean startup methodology with a very deep understanding of the social impact entrepreneurs and social entrepreneurship environment. And our background is kind of similar between Vasily and myself. I've spent a lot of time in the US. I've been working with startups for many, many years, both as a mentor and an EIR, as a consultant. I've probably worked with more than 100 startups now so far. And I'm an EIR and a mentor for a number of programs. Vasily has been very active in the social entrepreneurship, social impact, and social investment space. He's the director of Vision to Ventures, founder of Changemakers Lab, and has been actively involved in this area for a very long time. So like I said, we joined forces to create SEGITA that combines the best of both worlds, or so we believe. That's it for our quick presentation. SEGITA.org is our website. You can find more information there. You can see the program outline, and of course there is a link where you can apply for the program. You can also reach out to us at community@segita.org through email. Happy to answer any questions, and looking forward to seeing you at the program, helping you create successful companies that bring positive change and impact to the world. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chris. SEGITA program sounds really amazing, especially for the participants of Techstars Startup Weekend Dublin. There's a lot of growth there. They will learn from being a part of the program. And I love your what you said about profit and purpose, and or social impact doesn't have to be mutually exclusive. That's what I've been saying all this time. So nice to know that I'm not alone. Yeah, that is really great. I just have a question. What would it take for participants to move from the pitch deck stage to the next stage? What do they have to accomplish to move to the next stage?
In general, the way that people move through stages is by what we could say in plain English as showing promise in their idea, showing potential. That is obviously this is a combination of their commitment and dedication, and of course of what their idea has achieved. We are obviously aware that not all ideas are at the same stage. So we cannot compare apples and oranges, like someone who is just starting with someone who's already on the market. Obviously, this is not fair. But relative to the stage of the company, what we expect to see, we want to see a good pitch deck, presented properly, some validation if they're early, some traction if they're a little bit later, a plan that makes sense, some numbers that they have been actually thought through. So it's especially for the earlier on, it's much more basic, I would say. And of course, as the program evolves, we expect to see more, because obviously we expect the startup to also demonstrate progress, and that progress we expect that it will be captured in their subsequent presentations.
Cool, thank you. And when will the program start?
The program starts in April. the first part of the program. And then usually what we do, we have a small gap between the parts of the program. It's not back to back. And the idea is that it's almost following what I like to say, the personal trainer example. You go to a personal trainer, you do some exercises with them, then it's good to take some time and keep working out by yourself, and then you come back for the next part. So we feel that having a short intensive with a little bit of time afterwards for people to practice these things and work on them, it's the most effective way of using everybody's time. Then they come back for another round of training, and then we repeat.
That is great. I'm actually, from my experience as one of the participants of the Startup Weekend before, I think for the participants to have the opportunity to be able to onboarding to your program, it will be really great, because I found that I was left on my own after the weekend to figure out everything, and the imposter syndrome kicked in.
Sounds normal. It sounds very normal.
Yeah, but it's nice to have that program like so that it's like a hand holding, for people to build that courage within the safe environment with others who are in the same space, the same level, or even a little bit, so that they'll be inspired by the people who are ahead of them. But to have that community of, we're all in this together, and that peer-to-peer mentorship also, it's so important. So that is great. And also to have the space that after the training to give time to, work on that knowledge and then go back to the next stage. It's really great.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, thank you. I wonder if there's any other question from anyone has any question. And if you watch the video and you have a question, you can put your question on our social media channels, and we can reach out to you and get back to you and with reply. And you can reach our speakers on their LinkedIn channels or any of their social media channels. They'll be available to get back to you. And also they will be active during the Startup Weekend. So you can ask them question if you have at that time. And I think, there's another question. Do you want to say your question? I don't think you type. Sherry, do you want to come on?
Yes. First of all, thank you so much, Vaseline.
Do you want to put your video on? We can't see you.
Yeah, sure. Give
no
me
pressure,
a moment.
but you can put your video on.
Yes, let me bring down my hand now, lower hand. Okay. So first of all, thank you so much, Chris and Vasily, for sharing how your organization has been working and helping around various startups. I guess my question is if there is any common mistakes that you've been noticing maybe throughout your journey or throughout any initiatives you've been helping out. Oh, they make the same mistake again. I've seen this over and over. What would that be? And what would be your best advice for anyone stuck on that stage? Thank you.
Oh, wow. Well, a common mistake is that they don't take the SEGITA program. And so then they're definitely stuck. But it depends, of course, on the stage of the company. I think the most common mistake I see, though, is that people get a little bit too focused on their idea and what they want to do. And when it comes time to present, especially in front of investors, they neglect what the investors are looking for. And so the presentations, I've seen a lot of presentations, a lot of pitch decks that they look more like a promo for the product and the company, and they are a little bit weak on the hard numbers, so to speak. So of course, it's good. It's exciting and very positive to see passionate founders and people that they really care about what they are trying to solve, care about their solution and the impact that it's going to have. But it's also good to remember that, especially when we're talking about investing and fundraising from investors, it's good to also demonstrate the potential of the business to generate a profit, and that you have done your homework, you have looked through your numbers, those kind of things. So I think this is a very common mistake I see a lot. It's something we addressed very early on in the program, actually, that people tend to, like a lot of founders tend to neglect the fact that at the end of the day, it's not just about the great idea and the positive impact, but also it's about the boring, so to speak, numbers.
Sorry, thank you. That was a great question. I mean, and a great answer. It's all about, knowing your audience and speak the language your audience want to hear, so you can understand each other. That's very important. And I think we have another question, Vasily, please.
Hi, good evening, everyone. And thank you, Christos and Leila, for the opportunity, and Christos for the presentation. And I just want to add to what Leila said. Leila, it's exactly what you said. With SEGITA, the program, what we want to do is hold the hands of passionate fellow social entrepreneurs that just need guidance. Exactly what you said you need. We find, with these Startup Weekend, a lot of people come and share their passion and hard work. And we're very excited to have the opportunity to partner with yourselves and to be able to support these entrepreneurs. And in terms of what Christos mentioned, when we see entrepreneurs committed to the program and putting in the effort, then that's what motivates us and will ultimately lead for us to help them progress through the next round. So if we see that someone's determined and passionate about what they're doing, then we put in the time as well to help them progress to the next stage and help them access the networks. And this is something we would most certainly love to continue working with you, Leila, and your wine network and all the stakeholders to ultimately support the entrepreneurs. So thank you very much. I was going to say we're very excited to be part of this program. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Vasily. Thank you, Chris.
Vasily.
Yeah, that was great finishing up. Any last word of advice, Chris, do you want to say? Or have you giving us everything?
Just what I said, sustainability in the new era for humanity involves environment, social, and economic. And this is not mine, right? You can Google it. So I invite everyone to Google sustainability, the 3 pillars of sustainability. Financial sustainability, which essentially means profit, has been a big focus in business for the past 100 years, let's say. Environment has been taking a lot of attention, and social impact has also been growing in attention, but blending the three and bringing the three together has still been a challenge. So remember that you want all three to succeed in 2022 and beyond. Take the little bootcamp weekend, learn as much as you can, and then hopefully we'll see you at SEGITA.
Thank you, Chris. That's a great finishing touch. Yeah, it's all about the 3 Ps: people, planet, and profit. All 3 equally important to achieve true sustainability. So I'm really thank you for joining us and for being part of our event and for supporting us and for this program to onboarding the participants of the Startup Weekend Women Dublin. Yeah, this is the end of our pre-session today. And
thank you for having us, Leila. It's an honor for us. So.
Oh, thank you. So for us too. And yeah, if you're watching, follow us on social media. We will have all the channels there, and we have the link for the events to register, join us, and start your business journey, and you never know where it's going to take you. Yeah, thank you. So we'll see you on 25th to 27th of March for Techstars Startup Weekend Women Dublin. Thank you very much. Bye.